at midnight, Friday and Saturday nights, coming in March. Don't miss the Wolfman on 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
On February 11th, Loma Linda University Children's Hospital 23rd Annual Illuminate Foundation Gala, presented by Hard Rock Hotel Palm Springs, celebrated hope and healing as we illuminate the path toward Vision 2020. This inspirational night would not have been possible without our generous sponsors, who each year allow us to provide exceptional care to over 160,000 children in our community. A special thank you to our presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Hotel Palm Springs. We would also like to thank McCarthy, MPS JV, Big Hearts for Little Hearts Guilds, Audio of America Inc., Berg Electric, Epic Management LP, J-Tech Healthcare Construction Management Inc., LLU Department of Pediatrics, LLUCH Division of Neonatology, Neville Group and Standard Drywall, and Frank and Mary Ann Xavier. Thank you for joining our campaign for a new children's hospital tower. Now is opportunity to create a healthy, whole tomorrow for kids. For more information or partnership opportunities, go to lomalindakids.org or call 1-800-825-KIDS.
If you don't know what it's all about, Dr. Jolly will tell you on What's It All About, Wednesday afternoons at 3 on KCAA 1050 AM.
You're listening to KCAA, Loma Linda, California.
For Wall Street, it's beginning to look like the worst may be over for the beaten-down energy industry. The price of oil rose just 26 cents a barrel today, but it marks the 7th increase in price in the last 8 sessions. With energy and banking shares leading the gainers today, stocks ending slightly higher. The Dow up 34 points, the Nasdaq added 13. Also helping, payroll firm ADP says 214,000 private sector jobs were added last month, far more than forecast. Target telling its investors it plans to spend nearly $2 billion this year and more next year to beef up its technology and supply chain network to better compete against online shopping giants like Amazon. And Aubrey McClendon, the natural gas industry titan, was killed when police say he drove his car straight into a wall in Oklahoma City today, one day after indicted on a charge of conspiring to rig bids to buy oil and natural gas leases there. Tom Busby, CNBC.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware.
My new house is between 2 lawns that should be on the cover of Lawns Illustrated. I need my lawn to fit in.
I told Sam that during Scott's Days at Ace, he can get the products he needs for a great lawn, like grass seed, fertilizer, and weed killer.
Ace is a place that gives you a magazine cover-worthy lawn. Although Lawns Illustrated is completely made up.
It's Scott's Days at Ace. Stock up and get up to $130 in instant savings on Scott's Miracle-Gro brands, including Ortho and Roundup. Ace Rewards members get savings instantly in store. Offer valid March 2nd through 7th. Store stock only. See participating stores for details.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Lopez. You see miracles all the time at our children's hospital. The first smile after surgery, a girl walking when they said she wouldn't, parents getting good news. But miracles never come easy. That's why, as great as children's hospitals are, they need our support to keep miracles happening. Please join me in supporting Children's Miracle Network hospitals. Put your money where the miracles are.
KCAA.
Do you want exposure for your business or organization? Check out Digital Network Advertising. Digital Network Advertising is where businesses display your ad inside their building. You can choose your marketing sites or jump on the DNA system and advertise with all participants. Your slide holds the virtual billboard for 14 seconds and is displayed 3 times an hour. It's a novel way to be seen, be discovered, and to be remembered. Digital Network Advertising with networks in Redlands and Yucaipa. Call 909-222-9293 for introductory pricing. That's 909-222-9293.
Good afternoon. It is 3:02. I'm Di Rice with the very latest in live, local, national, and international news here on KCAA, 1050 AM and 106.5 FM. A U.S. official says debris washed up over the weekend in Mozambique has been tentatively identified by experts close to the investigation as part of the same type of aircraft as the missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. The official, speaking on anonymity, said the debris appears to be the leading edge of the right-hand horizontal stabilizer of a Boeing 777. The MH370, which disappeared 2 years ago this month, is the only known missing 777. The part is being transported to Malaysia. And it looks like Ben Carson is getting ready to end his presidential campaign. The retired neurosurgeon announced today that he sees no political path forward in the 2016 Republican presidential race. In a statement, Carson also said he will skip tomorrow night's debate in Detroit. He said he will talk more about his future in a speech on Friday. Carson has not won a single primary or caucus in this year's GOP campaign, and he had a dismal performance in Super Tuesday contests. And here at home, a Riverside hit-and-run victim celebrated her 7th birthday in the hospital yesterday. Deasha Butts was walking home from school Friday afternoon when she was hit while crossing Iowa Avenue near Villa Street in Riverside. A witness said the driver and a passenger got out of the truck and then jumped back in and drove off, leaving the child lying in the street. Deasha's cousin, Kim Thompson, says the 7-year-old suffered bleeding from her brain, a bruised leg, fractured pelvis, leg fractures, multiple scrapes, and her left ear had to be reattached. Thompson said Deasha could not taste a slice of her own birthday cake because of the fluid buildup in her stomach. Just a sad, sad situation there. Weather, not so sad. Very sunny for the rest of the week until clouds and rain move in on Sunday and then into Monday. And tomorrow we are dropping in temperature and some clouds moving in. High tomorrow about 77. Today we were expected to climb up to about 81. Got up to 79, which is currently where we're at here in San Bernardino. And then checking out your drive, stop and go traffic. 15 northbound between the 60 and Harupa. Southbound side is slow from the 10 to the 60. And then through Moreno Valley on the 215 northbound, it's a little slow between Alessandro Boulevard and Eastridge Avenue. And the 215 north is, well, they're saying now all the way to Central, and the 60 west is slow from Pigeon Pass to the 215. That is the very latest with news, weather, and traffic on the station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA 1050 AM. What's it all about? Coming up in mere seconds right here.
Original thinker and activist Thom Hartmann joins the lineup weekday afternoons here on KCAA.
But a cop to deal with discipline problems? It's turning a school into a prison. It's teaching kids how to be afraid of authority figures. It's teaching them, oh, yes, officer, no, officer. Oh, please don't beat the crap out of her. Oh, wow, look at him beat the crap out of her. This is so wrong.
Join Thom Hartmann weekday afternoons from 4 to 6 on KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Greetings and welcome to What's It All About? This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on KCAA Radio, 1050 on your AM radio dial and 106.5 on your FM dial. And I guess we're soon to have another station. Is that correct? We are going to.
102.3 it will be.
102.3. And when do you think we'll have that one?
That's a Mark Westwood question.
A Mark Westwood question. Well, we better ask him later in the day. Well, it's exciting to be back to all of you on Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I have a great guest today, Dr. Mick Hall. Dr. Hall is a naturopathic physician who I have known for over 15 years. He spent the last 40 years researching the causes for human disease, and believe me, he has made so much progress. I am absolutely, completely overwhelmed by all the things that he teaches and talks about. He's the author of a book called Let's End Illness Now, and it talks about the chemistry support system of the body, which he's going to explain to us a whole lot about and teach us some things that can change our lives and create a high level of health. And Dr. Mick, please say hello to our radio audience.
Hello, and it's good to be here today. Thank you.
Amen, and it's great to have you as well. You are the first person to clearly document the 11 specific reasons behind human disease in the book you wrote 10 years ago entitled, Let's End Illness Now. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, actually, we've been led to believe that all that matters, and we've fallen right in line with it, that all that really matters is if we have an owie, what can we do to get rid of the owie? And that is the whole model of healing and disease has kind of led us in a direction to where all we're doing is alleviating symptoms, and to a large degree the natural world is kind of following suit. My take on it is, what about the principle of cause and effect that life teaches us in every other aspect of life? Why isn't that applied to the health and well-being of the body? And so that's what I've been doing for probably the last 20 years, is focusing more on why. What are the causes upstream from the symptoms and the diseases that we develop?
Well, I personally know that you've helped thousands of people over the years that you were in Orange County and that I saw you quite often. But I know that you consider teaching the principles of health as your greatest role. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, when we know better, no matter what the subject is, we do better. And I feel that there's probably the greatest, well, it is the greatest principle that determines the outcome of everything in our lives, and that is what I call the principle of focused attention. And simply put, a person always travels in the direction they're looking. And so I feel that rather than keeping everyone focused on what appears to be broken and watching out for what we don't want to end up experiencing, rather than that, we need to start focusing in the direction that we really want to go. And so the basic idea of everything that I'm doing now is helping people to understand that that is one area that they can completely control in their lives, that the brain is actually like the spinner wheel in a board game. It shows the direction of our attention. Whatever the subject matter is that we're focusing on activates one of two major emotions, either joy or fear. And whatever we stay focused on with the appropriate emotion will create the circumstances in our lives. And so obviously if we're busy waiting and watching with fear for a disease to develop, we're almost guaranteed that one day we will find what we're looking for. What I would rather see everyone do is to focus on in the opposite direction, focus on where we want to go. We want to create a level of health where disease can't even exist.
Well, you know, it's very exciting what you do. It's exciting to me because I see people who do it get better. I see people who do it not get sick. And I know that the name of your institute is the Biorestoration Center. Can you explain what that means, Biorestoration Center?
Well, I've found that, in fact, this is something that we all know, and that is that if the body had enough energy, it could heal itself of almost anything. And so biorestoration, it's basically restoring the essence of life back into the human body. Now, of course, there are many reasons why the life energy is leaving the body. First of all, most of us have grown up eating cooked foods, which, of course, we exchange a large amount of our life force for the process of digestion. And then as adults, because of the responsibilities, obligations, and everything that we've taken on, we have a tendency of using every bit of energy before we collapse into bed at night. And, you know, it's interesting, when we were children, we would watch a cut. Mom may wipe it up, clean it up a little bit, put a little peroxide on it, throw a Band-Aid on it. We take off, we go to playing. 2 days later, the Band-Aid falls off, and it's like magic. The scratch or cut is gone. But as we get into adulthood, we wonder why in the heck the body takes so long now to heal. It used to heal so rapidly. Now it just slows down. With every decade, it gets slower and slower and slower. Well, when we collapse in bed at night with zero energy, what in the world is the body going to use to heal itself? So there's basically two things that every adult is busy developing. One is a lifetime accumulation of waste material. That's the chemicals, metals, dead tissue cells, unusable food residue, the waste material from cellular function. That's all the stuff that disease is actually made from. And we accumulate this in the body because the body doesn't even have enough energy to be able to detoxify itself. Then there's another problem that develops. Every time we damage the body or we get seriously ill, those damages we don't give the body enough energy or enough time to heal those completely. But as soon as we can drag ourselves out of bed, we're back to using up all of our energy to accomplish whatever it is in our lives that we feel we need to accomplish. And there's no more energy left for the body to heal those damages that we have caused by these accidents or whatever we've done. And so accumulatively, basically every adult has those two projects waiting to be dealt with if we became aware of it, that it needed to be dealt with in the first place. The first, of course, is we all need to reverse this lifetime accumulation of toxic waste from the body. And the other is we need to, since the average adult is basically energetically bankrupt, we need to at least start a savings account and start conserving enough energy to where maybe the body can start healing itself again. You know, the time will come when we will wake up and realize that, hey, if we stop breaking the body faster than it can repair itself, maybe we don't need to have a doctor to deal with every little issue.
That makes great sense. I want to remind everybody what our telephone number is. If you have any inclination to call and ask Dr. Mick any question or make any comments, you are more than welcome to do so. Our number is 1-888-909-1050. Have a pen and paper handy so that you can write things down that we give you. We're going to give you some websites and some telephone numbers, and write this down as well in case you get motivated to call in. The toll-free call-in number is 888-909-1050. 888-909-1050. And Dr. Mick, your telephone number. Can you give us that, please?
714-485-2299.
Area code 714-485-2299. And your website?
www.35forlife.com.
Okay, www.35forlife.com. And we will give you these numbers throughout the show. I'll give you the number again to call in if you wish to. Is area code 888-909-1050. 909-1050. Okay, the matter of health is really something that we are responsible for and we don't take responsibility for. We take better care of our cars than we do our body. And our body is our most precious gift. And when we don't take care of our body, it comes back and bites us in the butt. And it doesn't feel good. And we start to whine and scream and snarl. Well, hey, it's our responsibility to take care of things. So, Dr. Mick, can you share with us some of the things that you could give us tips on and some of the things that you do? I know I've been to your place and many times over the years, and I remember sitting having my blood analyzed and watching my blood cells skirt around and react and divide, and it was amazing to me. And you told me things that were right on. Right on. How can you do that? What is that all about?
Well, the information regarding your blood, it's almost like your blood contains all these little tourists that move through the entire body, picking up clues here and there, and bringing it back in a way that when you visually look at it, it will tell you a story of the tour that they've taken. Of course, I've done well over 25,000 of these over the last 30 years, and it's got to the point where it's very simple to understand the levels of cause for why a person feels exactly the way they do. The good thing about it, it isn't a diagnostic procedure, because that you'd go for your medical doctor for. But I'm an educator, and I want you to understand all the levels of cause for the reason you feel the way that you do. And that's what shows up in this blood. I really use it mostly as a teaching aid now, because and as an attention getter, because really we if we're scared of dying, that's a good motivator. But I work with more people that are wanting to create a higher level of health, and rather than using fear to motivate them, I'd rather use wisdom and clarification of what's going on inside their body and clues as to how they can create a higher level of health.
Oh, I love that. Wisdom and clarification. Well, it's very fascinating, too, to me because, I'm used to being in the medical center and working with Dr. Whitaker before that for a while, a long time, actually. I was used to certain things, and when we needed to look at the blood, we took some blood out and sent it to the lab. And as I sit after some of my blood is put, a very small amount actually, is put on a slide under a microscope and projected onto a screen, it's magnificent watching that blood. It fascinated me. And I would imagine that any physician or scientist who knows about those things could learn a lot about what's going on in our bodies. Why don't we do that? Why don't we use that tool?
Well, when you stop and think about it, we're generally not allowed to focus on the levels of cause for why disease develops. This has been a focus of my own over the last 30 years, is I wanted to understand. I was working at directing one of the cancer clinics in Mexico 30 years ago, and I recognized that as successful as the center was, the clinic, I realized we had so many questions regarding the levels of cause. I don't know what everybody else was thinking at the time, but I was thinking, wow, I want to understand the reasons why we're seeing the end results that we are. Why do these people develop these conditions? And so I left the clinic with that burning desire inside of wanting to understand all levels of cause, and I believe that I've done that. And I'm relieved to see that the body really is very straightforward. It's more brilliant than we'll probably ever be able to understand, but that's kind of a neat thing too, because if we stop interfering and trying to fix it and just step back and provide the support that the wisdom of the body needs, it's so brilliant it can go ahead and repair itself.
Well, we all better learn that. And we all better learn how to take better care of our body and learn about putting things in our mouth and learn about not swallowing the poisons that we eat every day and learning that sugar is an evil demon from the deepest, darkest pit of hell. That's one of my great sayings. And our Lady Di tells me that we may have a caller. We have a caller on the line? All right, let's talk to him. Greetings.
Hello.
Greetings and welcome.
Hi.
Hello there.
Hi, doctors.
Greetings. What's up with you? And talk to us.
Hey, my name's Alan. I'm calling from San Bernardino, and I just had a recent doctor's appointment regarding my blood pressure. I'm 47. I'm 6 foot tall. I weigh 209 pounds, and my blood pressure continues to be high. Let's see. It's gone as high as 180 over 120. However, I've recently lost 25 pounds, and it has gone down, but it isn't where I want it to be. It's still anywhere from 140 to 160 over 100 to 120. And, I've been looking, I've been doing some research because I asked my doctor what I could do without taking medicine, and his thought was just take the medicine. Why are we talking about that? And that surprised me. So I'd like to know your thoughts on what I can do to lower that blood pressure without taking medicine.
Well, actually, it's like any condition. The best thing a person can do when they have a problem is ask themselves why. And we need to start looking at the body more as we would another machine, our cars, the machines around us. And so if there's a higher pressure, what does that tell us? Well, there's either a kink in the hose, or there's a buildup in the tubes, or maybe the filters are plugged up. So what we got to do is stop and think, okay, now, why is this happening? Well, I guess maybe the research that I've done over the last 40 years would make it a little easier for me to give you those insights. Well, first of all, we all hear doctors talk about the buildup of the arterial plaque in the arteries, but we never hear the reasons why. Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is most everyone is deficient of organic sodium, and Mother Nature hid that stuff in celery and other vegetables, and so when we ate the SpaghettiOs and everything else, we didn't get that organic sodium that we needed. And 2, we've been told for years that we should avoid salt, which of course we need organic sodium, we need both organic sodium and, a good healthy salt is actually a form of dirt, but we can maintain the electrolyte balance in our blood with good healthy salt. But because we don't have enough of that organic sodium in our bile, it causes the little particles of arterial plaque to coagulate and physically block the gallbladder, backing the liver up, making the liver more incapable of filtering those little particles of arterial plaque from the blood. And so they will continue to readhere to the arterial wall, building up a lining on the inside of our arteries, which of course restricts the flow of the blood. Then at the same time, once the liver gets overwhelmed, the wisdom of the body throws the workload of the liver to filter the blood over onto the kidneys, which of course they're not really designed to do that work. They're meant to regulate our pH, which gives you a clue as to one reason why we become so acidic. The poor kidneys are being overwhelmed trying to play liver. But once
so we're working that car hard, huh?
We're working, man, we'd never do that to our car. The car would say, no way, I'm not going to start today. But we've got 3 filters, all 3 plugged up, and the blood has to go through the kidneys. And of course, that's going to increase the pressure. And then, of course, depending on what you're doing with your emotional life, that is the direct term for hypertension. If there are some certain issues, and now we're kind of, as with what I'm explaining right now, we're bridging into the absolute cause of all human disease, and that is the emotions. And there are so many negative emotions that we're not even aware of that get triggered up, and those unconscious emotions can actually contract the muscular sleeves of the arteries and thereby increasing blood pressure. And that's why they term it hypertension. So, you got to kind of look at all of these reasons, and if you're creating a high enough level of health to clear all of these, you don't have to wonder. You don't have to thin your blood. You don't have to do all these other tricks to bring your pressure down. You reverse the actual reasons why this is happening.
That's magnificent. I mean, that's the bottom line. That's what we should be doing. We're masking things, aren't we, in such a funny way, masking things and trying to fix things without fixing the cause? It's craziness.
If we ever did that with any other area of our lives, we'd be made fools of, because when we see an effect, if we don't stop and ask ourselves what caused this, and if we don't correct that cause, the effect will either remain or it will return.
Amen.
I see. That was very informative. May I ask one other question while you have me on the line?
Sure.
For personal reasons, but mostly for health reasons, I want to look at going to a pure plant food diet. And can you tell me how that, what your thoughts on that are?
The golden word is transition wisely. If you jump in too rapidly into what is considered an ideal diet, you'll increase tissue vitality too rapidly, and it'll overwhelm those already plugged up filters.
I see.
Got it? So figure out how to clear the filters first, and then transition wisely into more raw, live foods.
So are you saying to find some way to detox first?
That would be the priority. We've been trained to think that when we don't feel well, the first thought that comes up is, what can I take to fix this? Well, I would rather encourage you to be thinking, what can I get rid of? What can I unblock and release from my body for my body to be able to normalize itself? In fact, it's kind of like in Star Wars and some of those movies, before they go to light speed, what do? They dump the garbage, then they go to light speed. With the human body, what does it do? When we exhaust it and overwhelm it with the wrong foods, when the vitality gets down to a certain level, the body has to stop and start dumping all this garbage. That's called a cold or a flu. You take a look at the blood, and it doesn't matter which one of these problems you have, the blood looks the same. The body is trying to dump its garbage so that it has the vitality to be able to heal itself. But we just overwhelm it by converting our energy into accomplishment, and we are overwhelming the body with the wrong things and not getting the old accumulations released.
So, Dr. Mick, if we wanted to transition to a live food type diet, would we then just slowly go off of the meats and the other things rather than just stop one day?
Definitely. Stay right where you are, improve digestion, chew your food better, start detoxifying. It's a transitional process. Then slowly move from more cooked foods into more live foods. And that way, it's kind of like when a person detoxifies. To really do it properly, you would do your vegetable juicing and do your detoxifying all through the day with mostly raw live foods. And then in the evening, I always encourage everyone that I work with to have a cooked vegetable soup. And the cooked food will slow that tissue release so that you don't overwhelm the pathways of elimination.
Very, very interesting.
Very. Well, I thank you both very much.
You're welcome.
Well, Alan, we thank you for calling, and God bless you, and good luck in all of your work. And you don't need luck if you do the real thing. So do the real thing. Go in wisdom and health. And thank you for calling. Let's talk about your book for a minute. We're going to take a break in about 2 minutes. So if you could talk a little bit about Let's End Illness Now and how we can get it. It's a great book.
Well, actually, if you can either go onto the website, 35forlife.com, and it's the number 35, and then FORLIFE.com, or just go ahead and phone the office. And the book is basically presents the simplified principles of health. It's story form, very simple. It's kind of interesting, though. As simple as it is, the only difficult part about it is the information that we already have in our heads. If you can let go of so much of the information that is already there and allow the simple truths that are presented in this book to replace those pieces of information, you'll be thrilled at how simple the whole thing of health and your body really is. There really aren't any mysteries in the body, in fact. It's all very logical, and when you find the truth that you're looking for, you'll laugh at how simple that is, and that's what I try and present, is the simple truth about health, disease, and your body.
Well, we thank you for that. It's a very important lesson that we learn. The complexities that we've created in our feeding customs are disgusting, and they're unhealthy, and they're producing diabetes, and I'm sure they're helping to produce cancer and all the other disease processes. I think we're just on the wrong track, totally on the wrong track. That's why I want to focus this whole radio show on helping people learn how to take better care of their mind, their spirit, and their body. And now it's time for us to take a break. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel on KCAA 1050 on your AM radio dial. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Behind on your payments or barely making minimums? Do your massive interest payments have you running like mad in circles? How long can you keep it up? Stop running. Let the Thomas & Law Group carefully plan your escape. The Thomas & Law Group has proven itself for over 18 solid years, helping thousands of people like you and me reclaim our financial future. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and offices in all 50 states. And the best part? There are no upfront fees at all. You won't pay a dime until the job's done. No upfront costs, no monthly fees, no banking fees. No other law firm does that. I'm a paid spokesperson, not a lawyer, and every case is different. But really, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, call the Thomas & Law Group right away for a free, no-obligation consult with a trained legal analyst at 800-460-9790. Call now because you're tired of running in circles. 800-460-9790. 800-460-9790.
Hi, I'm Dr. Enrique Murillo, and the campus at Cal State San Bernardino and numerous town hall viewing sites across the nation, one near you, are pleased to host the LEAD Summit. Education is the economic imperative of our time and the civil rights issue of our generation, and Latino students disproportionately bear the crux of the educational crisis. So are you ready to make a difference? Are you ready to connect with and be part of educational leadership? Are you ready to find cross-sectional solutions to improve the education and lives of all students? Then raise your hand, step in, and get involved. Please join us on Wednesday, March 30th for our 7th annual observance of Latino Education and Advocacy Days as we convene those sharing a common interest and commitment to educational issues that impact Latinos. Please bring a new or gently used children's book in English or Spanish to the KCAA booth, and we will give them to the Inland Empire Children's Book Project. For more information, please visit leadsummit.csusb.edu.
Hyperbaric oxygen therapy has only lately begun to gain recognition for treatment of chronic degenerative health problems, including stroke, diabetic ulcers, wound healing, brain injury, and many other disorders. Whenever blood flow and oxygen delivery to vital organs is reduced, healing can potentially be aided with hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
Are you a candidate for hyperbaric oxygen therapy?
Contact Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel, PhD, for a free consultation and see if this groundbreaking therapy can help you. Mention KCAA and get a free gift. Call toll-free 1-877-423-7986. That's 1-877-423-7986.
Or go to hyperbaric-solutions.com. That's www.hyperbaric-solutions.com.
Call toll-free right now, 1-877-423-7986. Hyperbaric Oxygen Therapy.
And welcome back to What's It All About? Dr. Mick, I want to ask you, what's it all about when we say that old saying, we are what we eat?
Well, we've all heard that for years, and most of us have believed it because it's very obvious when we eat the wrong things, the body goes south on us. But what I've found supersedes that is we actually are what we feel. The body is literally the crystallized form of our emotional habits. And the scientific basis of this came from studies years ago with hair analysis. And I started recognizing, the more I studied the hair analysis and the interpretations, that the major minerals, the calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium, that's what they call the engine of the body. That actually, the ratios and the levels of those minerals actually determine the function of every gland and organ in the body. And I got to thinking about that, and I got to realizing that, is it according to what we eat? And I discovered no, it's actually according to how we feel. Our emotions actually determine the tissue level and the ratios of those minerals, which determine the function of every gland and organ in the body. And I got to realizing, you pull the mineral out of the middle of that equation, and you see, holy cow, the body literally is the crystallized form of our emotional habits, how we respond to fear. And so it helped me to realize that another level of that, and that is we eat according to how we feel also. So it's a greater clarification on the same idea that we've heard for so many years.
So how do we clean up our act, so to speak?
Well, I would suggest for a person to stop and realize that more important than anything else, the absolute cause, as we started talking about in the beginning, the absolute cause of human disease is actually human self-destruct. And if we try and think that food, pollution, and all these other things are the reasons for our health concerns, and that supplementation or a better diet or any of these other physical solutions are going to bring us out of that, we got to stop and think about one thing. If our self-destructive lifestyle habits are the cause of disease, there's only one actual solution, and that is to flip that coin to self-supportive lifestyle habits. And the key to both sides of that coin is the word habits. What we do habitually crystallizes as the function of the body.
Well, that is a wonderful thing and reality and truth to hear and to believe and to practice. But it's probably one of the biggest and hardest and most incredible challenges every human being has. How do we do it?
It's much easier to take a pill.
Amen. And the pills don't work, and most of them are poison, in my opinion.
Well, here's the catch to it. No matter what health program we follow, no matter how diligent we are with our diet, because of that overriding self-destructive programming, we're going to find a brilliant way to sabotage. We are brilliant enough at the unconscious level to put ourselves either in harm's way or out of harm's way. And the reason why, no matter how health conscious we are, we continue with the health problems that we do is because of these unconscious self-destructive habits. And it's all contained within one principle, the principle of expectation. Now, the principle of expectation basically says life gives you exactly what you expect, no more and no less. And how it applies to the health of our body is, well, if life beat me up yesterday, what am I going to expect of today and tomorrow? Well, here's the focal point of our self-destruct. Now, every adult knows that we're self-destructive. We see the things that we do, and no matter how hard we try, no matter how much willpower we exercise, why is it that we still keep doing the things that undermine the health of the body, and why is it that we don't do those things that would enhance the health of the body? Here it is in a nutshell. It's because of traumatic memory. Traumatic memory is the master cause of all human self-destruct. Without an understanding of that, we're going to be butting our heads against the wall. Now, what do I mean by that? As I said a minute ago, if life beat me up yesterday, what is going to be my expectation of today and tomorrow? Well, every cell in my body has the memory of traumatic experiences experienced by my parents, my grandparents, and my great-grandparents. My brain has memories of not only traumatic experiences during my life, but perceived traumatic experiences. It doesn't even have to be real. If it appears to be traumatic to us, it's traumatic. You take all of those memories, that is the basis of our self-destruct. Now, you might say, well, wait a second, how in the heck does that happen? Well, here it is. The brain works exactly like our immune system. If the immune system sees itself under attack, it scans its chemistry memory to determine how it was attacked in a similar manner so that it'll know how to defend itself. The brain works the same way. If somebody stands in front of us and tells us something benign, but it triggers us and makes us feel very angry, that is what we would call being triggered. They didn't make us angry, they triggered us. The brain felt like it was under attack, and what the brain did immediately is it started scanning its memories three generations back, through our lifetime, our parents' lifetimes, on back 3 generations, to determine how we were attacked in a similar method. Why is this? Well, we're still running a pretty old computer program here. The brain needed to find out whether we should punch this person or take off running. Okay, it's the old fight or flight program that we're programmed with clear to the hilt. Now, when we get triggered, the brain is looking at the traumatic memories. Our eyes are looking at the person in front of us, and we're wondering why in the heck we are feeling so angry over such a minor issue. Well, we might be overreacting for the present circumstance, but we are not overreacting for the traumatic memory the brain is looking at. That is the trap. And we are coming into a time right now where we can free ourselves from this anchor that is holding us back. In fact, I haven't found anything on the planet that is more important for our well-being, and I don't believe that we can ever be free from our own self-destruct, no matter how much supplementation or no matter what kind of a program we follow, until we deal with this. If we deal with this aspect, you'll see your health program work 100 times better. In fact, I believe in the future, with a clear enough understanding of this principle that I'm talking about, we may not need doctors anymore because we will be so much less self-destructive. We will stop perpetuating yesterday.
You know, what you're saying reminds me of what I read in a version of the Scriptures. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. That almost epitomizes what you said, doesn't it?
Yes.
So we hear this reality. We may only think it's a possibility, but we hear it. So what do we do? How do we learn? Where do we go? Do you help people with this? Do you help teach people how to do this? Tell us about the program you have. What is it all about?
Well, you know, there's a promise. I consider it the greatest promise we've ever been given. And it goes like this: you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free.
Amen. Amen.
What is it setting us free from? It's setting us free from ignorance and disease. Ignorance and disease are both easily overcome. All we need is the correct information. Here's the catch, though. A whole mountain of misinformation isn't going to set us free from anything. Only the truth will set us free from ignorance and disease.
Well, we better wise up. My version of that, I have two initials that say exactly what you said in my own perception, and it's called BS. BS. You know what that is, right?
Our belief system?
Oh, well, that too, but something even more gross. So I think it's important for you to share with us what we can do. You know, I mean, tell us about your restoration center. What happens there? People go there for an appointment and an analysis and a recipe for something, or what happens there?
Sure. Okay, first of all, just so that I don't drop everybody cold with the conversation we were just at, we were just talking about Chapter 27 in Let's End Illness Now is the instructions for how we can neutralize and actually heal those traumatic memories so that we can let them go. See, we believe that we are actually, we actually believe that we have freedom of choice, but the reality is because of the expectation locked into us by those traumatic memories, we are actually, to a large degree, programmed robots until we free ourselves from those traumatic memories. So anyway, that's the direction that I would like to keep everybody focused on, because there isn't a more important work to be done on the planet than to free ourselves from those traumatic memories that keep us locked into that loop of self-destruct. Then, as far as the physical side of it is concerned, in the Biorestoration Center, and the reason why I named it that is because when you stop and think about it, if we could get enough life essence restored back into the body, of course, could heal itself of everything as we release and heal these traumatic memories that keep us in self-destruct. Now, what we do in the center is a person will come in each morning from 9 o'clock to 4:30 in the afternoon, 5 days a week, whether they live in the local area in Costa Mesa, or if they come from out of town, they'll stay in a motel and come in every morning. And all day long, they're busy. And the things that we have them busy doing, well, first of all, Monday morning, we usually do a quick health screen, which we'll take a little finger prick and take a look at the live blood and the dried sample, which will give us all kinds of information regarding what's going on within the body, help us to understand the structure of the body, how strong is the constitution, How strong is the immune system? How much free radical activity is going on? What's the state of the liver? Is it under stress as a filter, or is it functioning properly? There's all kinds of information that is being available there so that we can understand the levels of cause that have you feeling however you feel. Now, again, what is the goal? We want to start you on a pathway toward creating a level of health where disease cannot even exist. We're not interested in discussing diseases and the breakdown and what you're afraid you might end up experiencing one day. I want to shift your focus only in one direction. You are a creator. You are a son or daughter of God. That makes you a creator. So let's create. Get your focus in the direction that you actually want to go. Focus on creating a level of health where disease can't exist. And guess what? You can't get lost. It's like a road map. If you follow the road map accurately, you can only end up in the true destination where you're headed. What we do is after you go through the health screen, sometime during the day, we'll do spasm release because, of course, your structure is most likely being distorted like everybody else's on the planet by the spasms in the muscles. There's reasons for those spasms, and I go through and help you to understand the reasons for this. But we start releasing those spasms. Then we have therapies that we do, you do. We teach you certain things to do for yourself so that when you go back home, you can maintain this momentum, because that's what you need to do, is get the momentum going in the right direction and reverse it from where it's been. It is, like I say, an educational process. We'll guide you, we'll teach you, we'll give you the information that you need, because if you don't understand why you're doing what you're doing or how to do what you're doing, it's not going to last very long. Education is the foundation of everything that we're doing. But after a whole day of we have a person that makes your fresh vegetable juices and serves you with those, provides the supplementation that you would need, the cleansing drinks. All of that is provided for you so that you are free to stay focused on what you're there to accomplish and to do your procedure. You get tired, you go into this energy room. Dr. Jolly, you remember the energy room?
Oh, I love that room. I love that room. I used to go there and just go on a trip.
Well, we recreated it in the new facility. You go in there, kick back in a recliner, and just chill out as long as you need, and then get up and get back to work. But the whole procedure, everything that you're doing physically through the day is to enhance your body in being able to release the large volumes of chemicals and metals and all this other waste material from tissue storage, get it into the blood and the lymph, and then in the evening you go home and you do a detox bath and you pull all that waste material out through the skin, have a good sleep, come back the next day, and we go to another level. But day after day after day, the body gets so clean so rapidly inside. You're able to accomplish more during that 1 week than you could very intently working all month long at home.
Dr. Mick, when you say this, it reminds me of a story in my own life. When I was young and in the monastery, we had to learn humility. And we had to do all kinds of things that were almost disgusting. In fact, some of them were. I was a grave digger at Holy Cross Cemetery. I scrubbed every single toilet in Mercy Hospital and St. Bernardine's Hospital. And I also worked at the San Diego sewer plant. And let me tell you something. I was immersed in smells and horrors and all kinds of things. And I even kind of sort of partially fell into the raw tank one day, and they had to drag me out. And that's what we do. That's what our lives are. That's what our bodies are. We create that in our body, and we don't perceive that it's happening, but it has rotten results. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. So your program, then, I'm assuming, is going to help us release ourselves from these preconditioned, habituated ways of behaving. Am I right in that?
Yes, it's a educational, demonstrational facility where you come in and not only live a healthier way of life, the ideal of this at the same time as detoxifying, but you're also learning how to change these lifestyle habits of a lifetime.
I think that is priceless. Absolutely priceless. I want everybody to take responsibility for your life, your body, your spirit, your mentality, for who we are. We live a life of feeling good and pleasure and simply satiating our desires. And you know what? That doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't build a balanced, healthy person. We need to wise up. We need to look at our spiritual life, our mental and intellectual life, our physical life. We're responsible for all of it. And if we are a piece of crap, it's because we've immersed ourselves in it. So let's wake up, understand we're responsible, search for the things that we can do that will work, take some responsibility to have a level of self-control and self-direction in our life, and then we won't have to bitch about things all going wrong and going crazy in our life because we're responsible. If we don't control the steering wheel, whatever happens, happens. And that's not taking responsibility. So I'm really, really encouraging every single one of you to look at balance in your life. And I think that what you do, Dr. Mick, is incredible. You know, I've for many, many years, and I used to go to that meditation room, and it used to keep me centered, really. I don't know what it was. Those wild magnetic electronic waves or whatever they were helped me to center. It helped me to, because I'm very distorted in my thought process. I am not organized at all, not at all. But there, it helped me. Can you explain why? What is there that helped me do that?
What that room does is it generates a high natural energy equivalent to be walking out into an old forest. And in that environment, with that much natural energy, everything is more peaceful. When we think of energy, usually we think of more of a hyped experience like caffeine or sugar would create. Natural energy will actually calm the person. In fact, I watched a couple of kids go into that same room that you used to go into, and they were very hyperactive kids, and I watched them for 5 minutes, and in 5 minutes, they just calmly sat down next to their mom and just looked around the room, just so peaceful and everything. They were so agitated by sugar and just being hyperactive before, but when they got in that room, it just calmed them down. But that's actually one of the when you get tired of doing the other therapies, that's where you just kind of go to rest and relax, and you're still actually increasing your energy and helping the process. But it's funny, when you're telling that story, it got me thinking about a very common term that we use as humans when we're not feeling well. We say, wow, I feel kind of crappy today.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about an accurate statement. When you stop and think about it, when we don't take proper care of the body, because of chlorinated water, antibiotics, and all these other things that sterilize the friendly bacteria of the intestinal tract, we are actually recycling the water that is being drawn from that waste material before it's eliminated. That's going into our bloodstream 24 hours a day and bathing our brain. And no wonder somebody got inspired with that term, because that's literally what's going on. Those are the type of clarifications that I want to help people to understand, is what you think is normal on a daily basis doesn't have to be normal. That isn't the way life should be. The body should be at a level of joy and proper function.
Oh, hey, you're absolutely right. We can't do it all in 1 hour, and we're going to only have, how many more minutes, Lady Di? About 2.5 more minutes. We can't do it in 2.5 minutes. Are you willing to come back next month?
Well, if you'd like for me to come back, I'd be happy to.
I think we need to. I think we need to motivate people and help them understand that let's get off our ass and make our lives work to the best degree possible. We are magnificent. There is nothing else in the universe that is like us. We are just totally wonderful, and we're creatures of an incredible creator who gave us so much potential. Let's start using it to be healthy and to make things happen and to really give the world the gift that we can give, which is a lot of help and guidance, and we can participate and create peace and all kinds of wonderful things. Instead, we're creating utter, absolute, total chaos. We're doing to our world what we're doing to each of our own bodies by screwing up all the time. And I don't want us to do that. I want to be dedicated to helping turn things around, and we all have to work together to do it. Dr. Mick, I thank you very, very much for coming today, for being here today. I want you to come back, and I want everybody to have your phone number. I'm going to give it, area code 714-485-2299. That's area code 714-485-2299. Website, 35forlife.com. 35forlife.com. So, I thank you all very much. I challenge you to take the challenges that God has given you. Be the best you can in every possible way. We look forward to seeing you next Wednesday at 3 o'clock. This is Dr. Donald Jolly Gabriel signing off from What's It All About?
KCAA.
Looking for a great cover band or one of the world's top tribute artists for your corporate event? You've come to the right place. David Levin Entertainment, Southern California's premier entertainment company, serving the Inland Empire, Orange County, Los Angeles, and San Diego. Call us at 650-282-5009 or visit us online and watch the videos at davidlevinent.com. That's davidlevinent.com.
You're listening to KCAA, Loma Linda, California. The best station in the nation.
Just one day after being indicted in a bid rigging scam involving oil and natural gas leases, Aubrey McClendon, the founder and former CEO of Chesapeake Energy and now part owner of the NBA's Oklahoma City Thunder, found dead in a one-car crash today. And police say he drove his SUV straight into